Thank you, Judy. And let me join Dean Olien in welcoming all of you. It's wonderful for me to see so many familiar faces in the audience and also some new ones. And I heard there's some high school students here. Where are you? All right. You know, at the Anderson School, we're committed to creating an environment that allows members of that community to succeed. The theme of today's Velocity Conference, Empower Together, speaks to the nature of that collaborative effort that Anderson fosters. And not only does it develop here, but it's something that's part of our culture. And our graduates carry it with them into their careers. On a personal note, I value things like inclusion. I'm an optimistic person by nature. And I have a lot of hope. And these are qualities that the Anderson School begins to embody through what it is our students do. I believe that challenges are nothing more than opportunities in dirty clothes. And that's not original, but it was said by somebody long time ago. And while we're kind of engaged in serious challenges today, I want you to know that it is the leaders like you and others who possess the strength and resilience and have a can-do attitude, an entrepreneurial spirit that will make it happen. Because you'll persevere, you will persist, and only then will you not perish. Amy Powell is one of those leaders. For this old professor, there's nothing more exciting than to be able to welcome an alumna to the Anderson School to share her success. And it is for this reason that I am honored to be able to introduce Amy Powell. Amy is from the class of 2005 and currently is the president of Paramount Television, the television arm of the studio responsible for financing and developing television content for broadcast, premium cable, online audiences. The studio has a distinguished roster of creative partners, networks, distributors that include Amazon, Fox, Hulu, Comedy Central, MTV, Netflix, Nickelodeon, and it goes on and on. Since 2012, Amy Powell has been running Paramount's digital entertainment, the studio behind the hit series, The Hot Wives of Orlando. And Ben Stiller's, who's a great actor, his Emmy-nominated series, Burning Love. Amy has earned many distinctions, including being selected for Variety, Women of Impact in 2012, by the American Advertising Federation, Hall of Fame. She's been honored by any number of industry associations, the Webby Award, the OMO Award, the IAB, the MIX Award. But more than anything, I believe that she's been profiled as a next-generation executive by our own Hollywood Reporter and a media maven by Ad Age. Now, isn't that somebody who is acting and thinking in the next? Amy Powell holds a BA from Emory University and an MBA from the Anderson School. She's an experienced and connected and passionate and inspiring and practice executive. Through her career, she has shared the things we value here at the Anderson School, finding new talent, new voices, new stories, and new ways of distributing. Her teams are flexible, innovative, entrepreneurial, and nimble. She thinks in the next. She acts in the next. And it's a pleasure for me to take my hat off, which I hardly ever do, to Amy Powell. Come on down, the president of Paramount TV and Television, and let's welcome her back to the UCLA Anderson School of Management.
wake up, you see the man screaming my name. Diva is a female version of...
Thank you. Thank you, Dean Oleon and Al, for such kind words. Welcome, everybody, and thank you for having me here today. As a graduate of the Anderson School, I can say firsthand that just by being here, surrounded by all these really great men and women, you're just at the beginning of what is sure to be an exciting and fulfilling career. And it's very true for me. So I'm going to share with you both professional and personal highlights in terms of how I got to my career, and then I look forward to having a Q&A at the end of the speech. I am incredibly fortunate to have grown up in a household of very strong influences. I'm one of 3 sisters, it's me on the left. I have a twin sister, Kelly, on the right, and an older sister, Debbie. Both of my parents instilled in us in a very young age that you have to work really hard for what you want in your life. They did not hand anything to us and always imparted upon us the importance of going and getting what you wanted. This began when we were very young. Instead of ballet and dance class, my mom insisted that we take karate. Our parents also pushed us very young not to be afraid to go out and explore the world. They shipped us all off to camp at the age of 6 to spend the entire summer away. In high school, I began running cross country. To be honest, I didn't love it, and I dreaded going to the practices and the meets. But as with everything, my parents would not allow us to quit, and I graduated with many medals at the end of senior year. In addition to my parents and my sisters, my closest relationship was with my grandmother. She was the epitome of a strong woman in the first pantsuit of our time. Her parents were Jewish immigrants from Russia, and she settled in the Lower East Side of New York with absolutely nothing. She only had a high school graduation, and the one thing that she constantly told my sisters and I throughout our whole life was about the importance of education. Because of her lack of opportunity in life, she knew that education was the means to everything in our futures. We are all in this room incredibly lucky to have the opportunities that my grandmother never had, and millions of other children don't have. While access to education, and particularly quality education, is a global challenge for everyone, young women and girls suffer the most. They're more likely than boys to be excluded. According to the World Bank, 16 million girls ages 6 to 11 will never start school, compared with 8 million boys. That stat never ceases to amaze me, and I hope it reminds all of you of the importance of the opportunity that you have just to be at this incredible university. This never quit philosophy and focus on education has shaped who I am today, and most importantly, I think it's really helped me get to where I am today. After high school graduation, I knew that I had to continue to push myself out of my comfort zone. My sister, Kelly, and I both went to Emory University in Atlanta, which led to a semester in Florence where I studied Italian and immersed myself in the culture. Back in Atlanta during my senior year at Emory, I applied for an internship at CNN on the entertainment news desk. While at CNN, I fell in love with journalism. It's become a lifelong passion for me. I was not only able to work on exciting stories, including the Gulf crisis at the time, but I was able to work with one of my real idols, Ted Turner. It's a pretty epic picture from college. Ted is someone that I deeply, deeply admire. He's a maverick, and he is literally the definition of the word boss. Ted taught me that you have to break some rules and go after what you want in life, no matter how far off your dreams may seem. Nothing is going to be handed to you. One of the highlights of my time at CNN was when I was able to cover the '96 Olympic Games being held in Atlanta that year. Because of my time studying in Florence, I was speaking fluent Italian at the time and was given the task of translating for the Italian guests at the Games. Many of you are probably too young to remember this, but I was there when Carrie Strug, who's on the left, a member of the U.S. women's gymnastics team, broke her ankle during the first vault attempt. She knew that the team needed her there in order to solidify the U.S. team's gold medal. So without hesitating, she made her second attempt. Broken ankle and all, this 4'2" 18-year-old gymnast did not quit. She vaulted right over it, and the U.S. won by 0.8 of a point. You can see a picture of me with Simone Biles, who's another one of my heroes that I was able to meet this year. I was in awe of watching this strong young woman do what she wanted to do, and it really instilled the philosophy of tenacity in me, something that I continue to believe in to this day. After my internship at CNN, I decided to take another leap of faith and fulfill my lifelong dream of moving to Los Angeles with my twin sister, Kelly. We literally had nothing but a plane ticket. We got off the curb at LAX and wondered where we should go. I'm sure, I tell you this because I'm sure a lot of you can relate to this. You land in a foreign place and have to pick yourself up and figure out how you're going to make it. It was frightening, but it was also exhilarating. And we actually ended up right here on the UCLA campus, subletting an apartment from some students who were away from the summer. In '98, I started working at Sony Pictures Home Entertainment. I was your typical assistant at the time, answering phones, typing memos, faxing, if you can believe it. There were no cell phones at the time. After a few months, I heard through the grapevine that the head of the marketing department, a wonderful woman named Nancy Harris, was going to move over to run theatrical marketing, which was my dream. She was looking for a coordinator to help work for her, and I knew that this was my chance to get my foot in the door. Instead of sitting back and waiting for someone to offer me the job, I decided to chase it down. The studio was putting out a movie with Julia Roberts called My Best Friend's Wedding. So I went back to my office, or my desk, and put together a marketing presentation. I knew I had to be persistent if I wanted to get ahead. I insisted on getting on Nancy's calendar, marched into her office, and presented my marketing plan for the movie. I don't know what she thought at the time of this over-aggressive assistant marching into her office, but she did offer me the job. Nancy was an incredibly gracious boss for me with both her time and her expertise. Not only did she give me the opportunity to sit in every single meeting with her, she gave me a literal seat at the table and a voice at the table. There were many times in which Nancy was told that I didn't need to be in a meeting with her, but she fought for me and showed me the importance of having someone's back and allowing members of your team to express their opinions and ideas. During those meetings with Nancy, I was surrounded by some of the best minds in the business, directors, writers, producers, and it was a real pleasure and opportunity for me to learn from each of them. At that time, if you can believe it, I was one of the only people who knew how to use the computer. My father was an engineer, and of course, with 3 girls, insisted that all of us learn how to use a computer at a young age. So I decided that this was my opportunity to get a leg up on everybody. I decided I would create the filmmaker presentations because I was the only person who knew how to use PowerPoint. It sounds crazy, but it's true. Creating those PowerPoint presentations allowed me to have FaceTime with the heads of every department within marketing. I was given invaluable access to how and why they proposed to market every film, and I was able to master the art of marketing through this learning process. After a few years with Nancy, I decided that I wanted to work my way into digital marketing, which was a new team at the time. It was once again an exciting opportunity to learn a new field, and I absolutely loved it. It's still a huge passion of mine. Back then, the only digital advertising that was existing was a single ad taken out on what was then called the World Wide Web. No one understood how to buy ads on the internet, so we could all go home to our houses and figure it out at night. It was complete trial and error, and I enjoyed every minute of it. At this time, I remembered that my grandmother's famous lesson of go back and get as many degrees as you possibly can in life, and it was at that time that I came here to the Anderson Executive Program. As if learning a new area of expertise, pursuing my degree at Anderson wasn't enough, I also got engaged and got married to my now husband, Doug. On a side note, since most of you here are women, I think it's extremely important to get rid of that idea that you can have it all. It's a complete nonsensical theory in life. I have 2 children, a 7-year-old son and a 4-year-old daughter, and I've learned from all of the strong women around me what I have found to be true, that you simply have to do the best that you can do. Life is a constant juggling act between career, husband, family, social causes, friends, spread out all across the country. You just have to try to keep all the balls in the air. Sometimes they drop, and so if you ever run into me out and about in my pajamas at the grocery store, you'll know why. Moms do whatever they can to make it work. There is no perfect plan or recipe. In 2004, I moved over to Paramount Pictures. This is where a huge role model in my life comes into the picture, Sherry Lansing. Sherry, for those of you who don't know, was the first woman to run a Hollywood movie studio in 1980 at the age of 35. She is an incredible force. Working with Sherry, I learned the true meaning of grace under pressure. She wasn't just the hardest working person in the room. She was a woman in a world full of men. With all of the responsibilities that came with running a studio, she instilled in me the importance of having and expressing gratitude to your team. Whether it was a handwritten note, flowers, or just a call, she taught me that something personal is absolutely priceless for those who work for you. Sherry fostered amazing talent relationships and truly valued the feedback of those around her. She was, and still remains, one of my biggest sources of inspiration in this business. In 2006, I was promoted to the Senior Vice President of Interactive Marketing, and I created and developed digital campaigns for everything from Star Trek and Iron Man, Jackass, Tropic Thunder, and Paranormal Activity. But it was Paranormal Activity that really let me shine. When the movie first came out, we knew we had a unique opportunity to market the movie. It was shot by a young Israeli filmmaker for $11,000 in 1 week. I saw and helped create a unique marketing campaign that EW called So Ingenious, It's Scary. It was called Demand It, and it put the power of the movie distribution in the fans' hands. On the homepage of the website that I built, there was a button where you could demand it. You could vote for the movie to come to your own hometown. Paranormal drummed up such a huge audience that it grossed almost $200 million worldwide, and it's now a $1 billion franchise. Fresh off the momentum of Paranormal Activity, I decided that I wanted to produce and create more low-budget movies. This was a huge learning opportunity for me, and I wanted to seize it. Justin Bieber's Never Say Never was the first film where I was able to apply my skill set in social and digital marketing. We used social media to allow his fans, known as the Beliebers, to put themselves in the movie. For the first time ever, the fans could find themselves on the big screen. The movie grossed almost $100 million worldwide. While working on Never Say Never, I had a life-changing moment when I least expected it. Make-A-Wish approached us to have Justin meet one of the biggest fans, a critically ill children right here at UCLA Children's Mattel Hospital. This seemingly small moment had such a profound impact on me, both personally and professionally. While I was excelling in my career, I also knew that I needed to use the unique opportunities that I've had to give back. The enormity of raising my own 2 children also helped make that a priority. To this day, I try to make a lot of time for things that matter to me, whether it's volunteering with Big Sisters, Big Brothers, Determined to Succeed, or even Habitat for Humanity. Please remember that as you all evolve in your lives, it's incredibly important to give back. In 2013, when I was least expecting it, I was given another big opportunity to launch Paramount Television from the ground up. The chairman and CEO of Paramount, Brad Gray, called me into his office one day and said that he wanted me to run the new Paramount Television division. Brad asked me to put together a presentation for the next week about how we could launch a division, and then I walked out of his office with no idea what I was doing. I will gladly admit to all of you, I had no television experience. It felt like it was a seemingly impossible task. But once again, I wasn't going to turn it down. Brad mentioned that he was looking for a leader, and I knew that if given the chance, that could be me. I immediately grabbed all of my good friends, girlfriends from Anderson, and we met for drinks to launch a plan on how we were going to make this television studio work. And the rest, as they say, is history. Overseeing Paramount Television has truly been one of the toughest and most rewarding jobs to date. I'm incredibly grateful to get to work with an amazing team and stable of talent. I know how insanely lucky I am to have this job. In just 3 short years of existence, Paramount TV is growing daily. The entire division went from just me to a group of 75 smart, talented executives running our division. We have over 30 shows in development across broadcast, cable, and SVOD platforms. We work with the biggest and brightest talent, from Selena Gomez to Mark Wahlberg, Cary Fukunaga, and on and on. Last year, we received our first Emmy. We actually received 5. Thank you. For Grease Live, which was a live event. I had never produced anything live in my entire life, and it was one of the greatest, most joyous moments in my career. Hopefully you've seen some of the other shows that we're working on, whether it's Berlin Station on Epix, Shooter on USA, or School of Rock on Nickelodeon. This March, we're launching the highly anticipated series 13 Reasons Why from Selena Gomez on Netflix. We're also working on a show called The Alienist on TNT, starring Dakota Fanning, Daniel Bruhl, and Luke Evans. And lastly, we're working on a television installment of the franchise Jack Ryan, starring John Krasinski. As a female executive in Hollywood, it has always been important for me to make sure that we are recognizing the important female talent around us, whether it's writers, directors, or producers. I've made a point to bring in projects from women who are like the strong, tenacious women that I've been blessed to be surrounded by in my life. We've optioned the books to the New York Times bestselling book, All the Single Ladies, Unmarried Women and the Rise of an Independent Nation. We're working on a comedy called Code XX from Paul Feig about a 35-year-old tech whiz who falls from grace and launches one of the biggest companies in Silicon Valley. On a personal note, I'm very proud to have partnered with the founder of the Facebook group, the Pantsuit Nation, which hopefully some of you are part of. And we're making a documentary right now about this group of women. And lastly, I'm sure as with many of you in this group, marching on January 21st in the streets to support both the strong men and women who are fighting for women's equality in our country. While I am proud that Paramount Television has been an incredibly successful launch in such little time, I've also learned that the failures that you make can be just important as your successes. We've had some projects that my team and I have been incredibly excited about, which have not moved forward. But instead of letting this defeat us, we must use each of these moments as an opportunity to learn from. Before showing you a reel of some of the products that we're working on at Paramount Television, I wanted to leave you with just a few thoughts. As my Grammy said to me, and I will say to you, take advantage of every opportunity you can to further your education. Get as many degrees as you can. Learn from the many great professors and leaders, as well as your peers here at Anderson. You will be taught many invaluable lessons. Surround yourself with people you value and respect, and that you want to be part of your team. They will help you along the way. It's okay to take the path that you don't feel most confident. Zigzag instead of going straight. Take every opportunity with hard work and direction. You will figure it out. Learn from those around you. Give people a seat at the table. You never know what you might learn and accomplish together. It's okay to fail. Some of your greatest failures will take you to new heights. And don't be afraid to have big dreams. Break the rules, have tenacity, and you will achieve them. And most importantly, never quit. Despite my love-hate relationship with running, ironically, you will still find me running on the UCLA track on most weekends. So now I'm going to give you a look at some of our Paramount Television product.
The Emmy for this year's Outstanding Special Class Program. And the Emmy goes to Grease Live.
Tell me about it, stud.
I'm unstoppable. You know I got it all. I got it all. I'm unstoppable.
There's a leak in the CIA.
We're rockers. Running like a legend.
You do not speak for this station or me.
Got moves you've never seen. Coming in like a champion. Running like a legend.
The whole thing was just a misunderstanding.
Come on, let's get this thing rolling, rolling. Up to the top is where we're going. Ain't holding back. Come on, let's drop it into gear.
Best friends.
Champion. Coming in like a champion.
Amy Powell.
Thank you.
Wow. You know, can I touch the Emmy?
Yes. It's heavy.
Oh my God, look at this. Isn't this awesome? Congratulations, that's
Thank you.
fantastic. I've never done that before, so I just kind of did, so you can touch me. Hey, we have some time now for questions and answers, and I'm here to try to field them. Please, identify yourself and then ask the question.
Hi, my name is Ann Kim. Amy, thank you so much for sharing your personal story and weaving it into your professional success. I wanted to learn how Paramount is going about also ensuring gender equity in the workplace. And you've had so many amazing mentors to allow for that to happen in you. So I'm wondering how that's happening now.
Thank you. That's a good question. I think, at the studio, we're looking for both gender equality and equality in every definition of the word. So I think for senior leaders like myself, it's incumbent upon us to mentor interns whom we get from all different socioeconomic backgrounds, intentionally so. In fact, we often turn away intern applications from some of the bigger universities so we can really spread out the opportunities to those from potentially lower socioeconomic backgrounds. And in addition, we make a real effort to make sure that when we're hiring directors for a television show, 50% are women. 50% of our projects are written by women. 50% of our producers are women. And on my own team, probably, thank you. On my own team, probably 75% of the employees are women. That's a personal decision. But I think it's incumbent upon all of us and all of you in the room to be a role model and to support younger women as they're coming up at the youngest age.
Hi, I'm Ganeet Baby, class of 2009. Thank you so much for sharing your incredible story and coming out over here. So inspiring to see how you never quit through the adversities that you were faced. And that's my question. What's your best practice when failure comes to quickly go over it and make it into a positive?
I think the biggest thing for me is just to keep your chin high and focus on the work. I don't really believe in sort of gossiping or being dragged down into whatever scuttlebutt is happening in the industry, but rather I think it's important just to keep your chin up and really focus on what's ahead of you. If something fails, the best thing you can do is really explore why it failed and be unafraid to do so. It failed for a reason, and that's okay. If you don't learn from it, then that's actually, you'll repeat the mistake. So I think you have to be open to sort of the pain of reliving what went wrong in order to move forward, and then you must move forward. You cannot dwell in it. You just have to forge on. Yeah.
Move on. That's really good. Failure is an opportunity to test limits.
Yeah.
Amy, why don't you come on out here in the open?
Sure.
Get you from behind. You know, is it okay for you to flash your T-shirt or something?
Yes.
Whoa! You're awesome. Yes, go ahead.
Hi, my name is Rihanna Singh, and I'm an undergraduate senior at UCLA. And I'm actually going to be starting my internship with Paramount on Monday.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
In what division?
In digital content monetization with Mark Hall.
Great.
And I'd love to know what would you tell your 21-year-old self?
Wow.
Good question. I think I actually would tell myself to have more fun and enjoy it. I think I was really serious from a young age and really intent on all of the accomplishments, and the truth is you have to enjoy the accomplishments along the way. Greece was actually a great example for me. When the show was live, we were sitting in the satellite truck watching it happen. It was such a joyous, happy moment for me, and I really allowed myself to sort of take it in, enjoy the moment, and recognize the hard work of all of those around me, and it was incredibly rewarding for me. So I think you should work hard, accomplish what you're set out to do, but also enjoy it as it comes.
Awesome.
Okay.
Hopefully I'll see you on set.
All right. You
Come
go,
say
girl.
hi.
Yes.
Thank you for coming here. My name is Adi Rajapuram, and I'm a prospective student at Anderson. And my question for you is, as women, sometimes we don't get the same attention that men do, especially in meetings. And in such a male-dominated industry, how do you assert yourself when you receive pushback to make sure that your voice is still heard and you're still calling the shots?
It's a really good question. I think it's really important to find your seat at the table. We're often in conference rooms where there's really long tables, and I notice a lot of women will either sit at the end of the table or in a chair against the wall. Get there early, find a seat, and sit down. And when there's a question asked, if there's not an opportunity to speak first, that's fine. You don't have to speak first, but voice your opinion. And if somebody's talking over you, I think it's really important just to calmly say, I wasn't finished, I'd like to complete my thought. And no one's going to disrespect you for being polite, professional, and again, keeping your head high. So I think it's just important to find your place at the table, calmly state your opinion, and feel confident enough and assured enough in your opinion to state it slowly and with grace.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well done. And who are you?
I'm Dr. Rose Piccioni. I'm the Director of Educational Futures here at UCLA Extension.
Hello.
Hi. So Amy, as you heard in my title, I pay attention to teaching and learning and the future of teaching and learning, and there is a great disparity between women and men. So my question is, how is Paramount Television, your vision, how are you looking at leveraging new technologies, new media for teaching and learning?
In my own department, we are focused on two very specific initiatives. One is Big Sisters, Big Brothers, and the other is Determined to Succeed. Both programs are focused on finding high aptitude, low income students right here in Los Angeles and bringing them into our department as interns and offering them professional advice as well as personal mentorship. So we have every week a number of students who will come in, both men and women, and we teach them what we're doing. And a lot of that is by, as I learned, by having a seat at the table. We integrate them into our process. I take them to events with me. They've been to the Emmys with me. They've come to all of the sort of moments in your life that I think simply by articulating to them and role modeling for them, they learn that they can achieve these goals. And a lot of the kids whom we work with, sometimes neither of their parents speak English, sometimes neither of their parents have professional careers, and often they're encouraged to stay home to take care of other siblings. And I think our role is to, without being medicinal or heavy-handed, just illustrate to them all of the opportunities that are out there and encourage them to achieve them. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you for making the trip from Extension all the way up here. Yes.
Good morning.
Go ahead.
I'm Pamela Bursler, and I'm class of 93 here at Anderson. And I'm wondering if you could comment on ageism in the entertainment industry, especially as it relates disproportionately to females in the entertainment industry with males. They get better with age.
Right.
Women, on the other hand, are cast aside.
That's a really good question. I have a daughter who wears tutus all day long, who can't wait to get her nails done and put her hair up, and I'm actually not like that. But what I've learned with the women who are my colleagues, who are older than I am, who are younger than I am, is we really just have to embrace who we are. And if you want to go get a blowout, if you want to get your makeup done, if you want to get your hair done, go do it. Great, have fun with each other. But don't feel that your appearance is everything. I always think your brain is actually what's most important. And I agree with you, there certainly is ageism, but we have to support the people around us regardless of their age. And, you know, on my team, I'm one of the younger executives in my role at the studio, and I have probably 60% of the people who work for me are older than I am. And that's an intentional choice because I can learn so much from them. They've seen things I haven't seen. They've solved problems that I've never even encountered. And more than anything, they're often stable, level-headed executives who can give you good advice when you're in a crunch. And so I think it's important and incumbent upon all of us to try to ignore the ageism issue, even though it exists, and most importantly with women, support each other in terms of looking and feeling good about yourself. Yeah.
Well, young lady, I think you're from a high school. Tell us who you are.
Hi, my name is Valerie, and I'm a senior at Marymount High School. Thank you for your wonderful presentation. It was very inspiring. And my question is specifically for what advice would you give to your undergraduate self in paving the path to your career and really solidifying what you want to study and how you want to execute your passion?
A few things. I think one, go outside your comfort zone and travel. As you get older, it becomes so hard to find the time to go explore the world. And today, the entire world is connected and we must understand the cultural nuances of other societies. So one, travel, go explore, try a first job in a different city. Find a new environment that you're uncomfortable in. It will really teach you a lot. And secondly, I think it's really important to realize that whatever career you think you're going to do now, you might do 10 other things in the future. I was convinced I was going to work in the news. That was the only career I ever wanted to have. And I've zigged and zagged all over the place. And I think it's important to be open to that, and you'll learn so much more and you'll meet so many more people. I think it's important not to look at your life with blinders on and think it has to be a straight line, but rather allow yourself the flexibility to move in and out of the stream. Yeah.
Thank you very much. I understand there's some Girl Scouts here. Where are they? All right. Did you ever do scouting?
I did. I was a brownie when I was very young.
There you go. Yes, ma'am.
When you speak about industries, I'm in the healthcare industry. I work for Kaiser Permanente, community relations. How do you really expand your network outside of your industry?
That's actually one of my favorite questions. I'm so glad you asked that. So I'm a member of many women's collectives in Los Angeles. Some are politically minded, some are pro-social minded, and some are entertainment industry minded. But don't be afraid to start a group of women. You don't have to wait to be invited. Every Sunday at my house, there's people having brunch at my house, and it ends up being all women. And the focus doesn't have to be about pushing this agenda or having a specific goal, but what it really is about supporting each other, whether it's with personal struggle or with helping each other find jobs. but I think starting a group of women, whether it's about a book group or it's just get-togethers, support each other, and you will find yourself with common interests, and you'll find yourself actually achieving things that you didn't know that you would. So that's really, I think, important. And then those friends will invite other friends, and before you know it, you have 20 smart women around a table, and you can achieve anything. Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you very much for your questions. This has been really great.